Sir, it's great to have you on the show, and I love the things that you write. You have spent hours researching what are called idea pathogens. You compare them to viruses. Tell us about this virus.
Well, you at the start of your monologue, you talked about the Jewish woman who, is writing that ridiculous dissertation.
Right.
This is exactly what is a parasitized person, right? Let me draw an analogy from the animal kingdom. The wood cricket is a cricket that hates, abhors water. It doesn't want to jump in water. But when its brain is parasitized by a hairworm, the hairworm needs the wood cricket to jump into the water so that it could complete its reproductive cycle. So to the detriment of the wood cricket, it will jump into the water because its brain is completely parasitized. That's what happens with some of these parasitized Jews. Their brains are utterly zombified. They are so desperate to demonstrate that they are so enlightened and so progressive that they're willing to side with the hairworm that's about to send them to their death. So that's exactly what my last book, The Parasitic Mind, is about.
It's brilliant, and it's such a brilliant analysis. How do people? I think about this all the time. That we live, I think, in a country that we've gotten to a point, where we've lived so well and we've had so much privilege in our society that you have kids like this just looking for this. And it's almost like we become self-destructive at some point of evolving. And maybe we've over-evolved in the West. And we've gotten to this point where we're just going to rip ourselves apart.
Yeah, what drives me crazy is some of the things that you are now seeing normalized in the West is exactly the tragic childhood of what I escaped from in Lebanon, where it was too dangerous to wear a Star of David in progressive, tolerant Lebanon, where my brother had to stop playing judo in Lebanon because he had won too many national championships, and it was no longer acceptable for a Jew to be consistently winning the Lebanese championship. It's when Gamal Abdel Nasser, the Egyptian president, passed away in 1970, and as a 5-year-old boy, I saw thousands of people protesting outside my house, screaming "Death to Jews! Death to Jews!" What did the Jews have to do with the death of an Egyptian president? And why are you screaming that in Beirut, Lebanon? So all of the stuff that you are seeing now infiltrate the American campuses is exactly what I escaped, and it just breaks my heart that it takes immigrants such as myself to tell Westerners, don't take for granted the freedoms that you have. We've sampled the buffet of societies, and you don't want to repeat that from which we escaped.
And one final question to you, sir, is there a way to break this? We seem to be going down a very dark road.
In order for this to be broken, the silent majority, which I believe is on our side, needs to find their, forgive me for saying, testicular fortitude, and to find their spines. Once that happens, then people will have the courage to speak up. The problem is that everybody wants to benefit from the freedoms that we take for granted, but nobody wants to incur any of the costs. And as long as you have that, we're going to lose the battle.
That's so well said. Gad Saad, brilliant author. Thank you so very much.